Hi,
Hi
everybody.
everyone.
Welcome back. We are
Welcome.
back.
Yeah, we're finally back.
Um, yeah, so we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why we've been gone. Um, do you want to talk about it, Eileen?
Um yeah, I think we were gone because we had been going through a lot, right? Being sick and all.
Oops.
We kind of got sick and then um yeah, I think
It
that's
kind of snowballed. Like
yeah.
first one person got sick and then it started to kind of get everybody. And so we were kind of all sick together,
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah, it was a back to
It was
back.
scary. It was the flu for sure because one of my kids tested positive for it. And so, hi Big Cole. Thank you for
Hi.
coming.
I think we were gone since
We've been gone for a while.
Halloween.
Before Halloween.
Yeah, so for Halloween we went out of town, right? So that was that excuse,
Yeah, we went out of
right?
town and then when we got back is when we started getting sick.
Yeah.
Um but yeah,
And then I mean we definitely had a plan to do one last Friday, but just, one thing led to another.
life happens. It's
Yeah.
the holidays and we've been so busy with the holidays that
Yeah.
it's been like
It's been hectic with the holidays cuz you're trying to
yeah.
get gifts and
And spend time with the kids, because there's a lot of
oh there is
holiday events,
there
and
is a
so
lot of
we
holiday
we had
events
an
going
event
on.
on last Friday, and
Yeah.
so that's the reason why we couldn't make it. But we are here and we are back,
Yeah, we're glad to be back.
and I hope that everybody's doing well.
I know it's been a while,
Yeah, it's been a while,
but we had been meaning to come back.
and everybody goes live today, so it's okay if we're like under the, you know,
Yeah, under the
the rug
mat.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But hopefully our mic is fine because it sounds a little like
Distant.
muffled. Yeah. Um, but okay. So I know that we were live. We were supposed to um I guess give you guys like a Halloween like
Oh, that's right. That's
creepy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
now
never
that
got to it.
yeah, we didn't get to it. And this topic, I had brought it up to Gloria because I
Mhm.
didn't know about it. I heard about it through TikTok. And I'm like, you know what?
Mhm.
That would be an interesting topic to discuss. Um, because hearing the storyline, it was kind of odd. And I'm like, this is a pretty interesting topic. And I
Yeah.
was watching videos of people who have like gone to the location and who have like heard sounds. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess there's activity here if like, people go and the vibe is weird and the and it just like you hear things. So I'm like, yeah, something must be going on if you could hear things. So, and it just looks creepy. So yeah, that was the reason behind this topic, right?
Yeah. So I've been researching this topic all week, and it is definitely crazy and it's long because it has like a lot of history. Hopefully it kind of makes sense and you guys yeah, like can give me your input on it because it is weird. It's definitely weird. When you really talk about haunted houses, or not haunted houses, but houses that have had tragedies, usually it's many. It's not it happens often is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always crazy people doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And so when I initially got into this, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be your typical like murder that happened, like
Yeah.
mental health issues, which, it is. but it also like it's very sinister and very weird.
It
Like,
is.
so I kind of decided, like, okay, there's like a lot more to it than just the murder. So, hey, John, how are
Hi.
you?
Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
nice to see you. And so we are going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat.
We'll answer.
But yeah, do you want me to start?
Uh,
You want to start?
do you want to start or should I
Yeah,
start?
I'll start and talk about it because there's a lot to it, like I said. So here we go. The murder house in Los Feliz. First of all, I was like, where the heck is Los Feliz? I was thinking it was like somewhere on like, I don't know, by the beach.
Um, so when I heard about it, like Los Felix murder house, um, um, they had mentioned that it was in LA, right? So I was like, okay, and Feliz is the street, right? I believe.
Hello. Yeah, we sound better like close up.
Yeah, so I believe it's the street, and that's why. And I'm like, okay,
Ah,
yeah,
okay. Well, I don't know, but it is one of the higher end like
areas,
areas
yeah,
in Los Angeles. And the houses are beautiful. They call them mansions. So
yeah. And you've mentioned, do you mention there where what location that is, or do you want me to go ahead and tell them?
I just said it's in Los Angeles, California. So, and this house back here, right? This is the house, and it has a 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom, and it was built in 1925. Um,
As you
uh,
can tell by like that design, that's very like 1920s, I feel.
really?
Like yeah, like that
Because
little
that window is yellow. Why
what
the heck would they put a yellow, like a yellow stained window? Maybe I don't know.
yeah,
It's
possibility so
weird.
that like, but just one thing to quickly mention, this home is located at in the Griffith area.
Observatory, like
Yeah,
around there.
so from personal experience of like driving around like that area, it's really nice. That area is really nice. And
Expensive.
yeah, you can tell that it's like people who have money. You can tell by like the roads, the cars,
Yeah.
like just everything, the maintenance around the area, and the homes. I mean, the homes, they are pretty. They're big homes and well taken care of. So yeah, it looks like a fancy area, definitely.
Yeah. So this home was built by a man named Harry Warner. And in 1928, another man named Harry,
There is.
and his wife Florence Schumacher. Hi, Frankie.
Hi.
Good evening. Glad you're back. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the Schumachers bought the house.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you guys know who that is, right? It's the yam makers.
Oh,
The
like the
Yeah, yeah, the
Smuckers?
Smuckers.
But these people are called Schumacher.
No, what is spelled like that? SCH Schmucker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Schmucker family.
Huh.
So yeah, guys, they lived there. Can you believe that? The makers of the yam,
That's
the
crazy.
jam, my bad. The makers of the
So
jam.
so they moved in 1928, and crazy guys, they died in the home.
Wow.
Um
Yes, they're the ones. Yeah, the PB&J. Yeah, that's
that's
them.
crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so both of them, they passed away in the home, and I think it was like natural causes. That's what I think it was. But since then the house was then passed down to his brother Orlando, which was Harry's brother. And Harry was having difficulty with, trying to like figure out whether he wanted to sell the house or he wanted to live. Not he Well, he knew he didn't want to live in the house, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to sell it or rent it out, which he ended up renting it out. But before that, there was a lot of people that were trespassing in the house, and there was like, I think, um, like, I don't know, people like what do you call them, squatters.
Yeah,
And so, and
squatters.
they were stealing. I think they got in and they were like, somebody broke in and was stealing stuff. So he decided to move in with his wife and his son. And during his stay, his child became sick. And when they took him to the doctor basically told them, there's the house is making your child sick. There's probably something there that's like making him feel this way, which I don't know of how like what exactly it was, but they decided to leave. They're like, okay, well, we can't live here because of the kid, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hi,
hi, forensic
forensic.
mystics. And so now he was left with trying to find renters. So the first renter he found was Fred Zelnick, and he moved in 1930. And so it was the Beaton family. Wait, no, yeah, he
Y-
moved in. No, he moved out in 1930. Okay, I'm getting confused. So Mr. Fred moved in, and then he moved out in 1930. So he was only there like maybe a year or less.
So
Because
then,
usually, I think back then they used to do like a annual like
oh, like
contract.
lease?
Yeah, like an annual
Oh.
lease. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing,
because
forensic.
I figure like it the energy there was that bad that he only lasted a year and then dipped
But it
out.
was, I don't think, because he didn't say that there was any energy there, because the owners passed away, but it wasn't like anything tragic, right?
Oh,
So it was just they
yeah.
died of natural causes, but they died in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess that was kind of common back in the 20s, right? Like people would just die in their houses. I don't know.
Would you want to like rent it there if you knew that like the couple died there?
No. No, not now. I mean, I know if back then maybe it was more open to it. I don't know. Um, so after Mr. Selnick moved out, the Beaton family moves in, and the man's name was Welford, Sarah, and their son Donald Beaton. In May 1931, his son Donald dies in the home from an illness. So it's
Wow.
already three deaths in this house.
That's
Um,
weird.
the Beaton son, passed away because I guess he got like a cut or a blister while he was playing tennis. And so that just kind of like it got infected, and then he developed this fungus. And so that kind of like made him really sick, and he
Wow.
eventually died from that in the home. So that's kind of crazy, right?
That is.
It's kind of,
That
I don't
is.
know. He was like an older kid too. I think he was like in his 20s when he passed away. So, and the parents, I guess this happened um within the month the parents moved out of the house. So I guess they kind of didn't want to be there because, I mean, of course, their son passed away and they're like,
Yeah, and it's tough because it brings up a lot of like memories, right?
yeah, it's crazy. On December 1st, 1931, George Arliss moves in with his wife. And that was 1931, right? And by
Mhm.
May 1931, they were, wait, December, it must have been December 1930, no? Because if they moved out in May of 1931.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
they were kind of, they only lived there maybe like less than a year. After this, the house is again set up for sale. So, I guess this man, George Arliss, was like a famous person back in the 20s. And so when he moved in this house, Orlando said, okay, well, this is kind of like a good thing. We can say, hey, this buy Arliss's house is up for sale. So you guys can come and buy it, and it's beautiful and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So he put it up for sale. And, people were kind of like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Like a celebrity lived here.
Yeah.
And so the house finally gets a buyer in 1932, and it's John Schaffer Jr. and his family, and they live in the home for more than 3 decades. So that kind of,
That's a long
yeah.
time.
So that's like, it tells
That's
you
that's a really long time to
that
live somewhere.
there was people that lived a normal life in the home at one point, right?
Yeah.
3 decades.
That's a really long
Yeah.
time to live somewhere.
So, which, okay, cool. In 1956, the Schaffer family donated the home to Whittier College. Why? I have no idea. They were
Interesting.
just like kind people, and they're like, "Hey, let's donate our house for a good cause," right? I mean, and this is like a nice area,
Yeah.
so they ended up donating the house, and the house was left vacant for a while. And then in 1956, the home was put up for sale again, and it was purchased by the I can never say their name. The Perelsons. Perelson. Perelson.
Perelsons.
So the guy's name, the owner's name was Harold. The wife was Lillian. The oldest daughter was Judy. Joelle and Debbie were the younger siblings. Harold was a medical doctor. And I think
Wow.
they said that he was like a cardiac doctor. Hi, my flock.
Hi.
Welcome. And so I think yeah, he was a medical doctor, and he was, I guess, kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if he was good because they didn't really say, but yeah. But Mr. Harold did something terrible.
Wow.
Do you want to talk about it?
And this is the yeah, I'll go ahead and
Right
get
there,
into that.
December 6th.
Okay, so get ready for this, guys. So,
Is this the same around the same time that he bought the house? Hold on. He bought the house in 1956. No, a few years.
yeah, a few years after.
1959.
Wow. 3 years later. Wow. Okay, let's dive into this, okay?
This is like the main, I guess.
The main part of this story. So let's go ahead and just dive into this. So, on December 6th, 1959, Dr. Harold woke up at around 4:30 a.m. It's always these hours, man. It's always these
It's
hours.
always, hey, Cowie.
Hi.
Thank you for showing up.
So, he woke up at around 4:30 a.m., correct? And got a hammer,
A ball.
a ball pin hammer,
I don't know what that looks like.
and struck his sleeping wife in the head. Then left her there to asphyxiate on her own blood. Right? And to make things crazier, he went to his teenage daughter's room through the adjacent bathroom. So I guess it
It's
might
like
have been
a,
like a Jack and Jill
mm-hmm.
type of bathroom, and struck her in the head as well. Judy started screaming, waking the neighbors, telling her father, "Don't kill me," as her father
Told her, sorry.
told her to lay still and keep quiet. Creepy. Judy managed to escape and run to the neighbor's house to ask for help, where they called the police. Back at the house, the two other children woke up, and Harold told them to go to sleep because they were having a nightmare. He then went back to Judy's room and took a a concoction of medication where he passed away before the ambulance got there. Interesting.
It's
Interesting.
horrible. Hey, Brown Dwarf.
Hi.
Oh, Cowie, we're talking about the Los Feliz murder mansion.
Yeah.
So a small hammer with a somewhat rounded back instead of a pry back. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So
Oh, I think I know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad has one.
Dude, he went and like killed his wife.
And then just watched her. He just left her there to asphyxiate. That's crazy.
Yeah, this
That's
guy
crazy.
went and killed his wife, tried to kill his daughter, and
And then he, committed suicide. He took a concoction of medication. And this is the interesting part, man. It must have been planned because he took this and passed away before the ambulance arrived.
well, see, here's the thing. With at during the time when this was happening, the two other children, right, woke up and they kind of looked at him and they're like, "What's going on?" And
Yeah.
he told them, "Oh, go back to sleep. This is all a nightmare." Which,
Sounds like he was in a daze.
yeah,
Like he wasn't aware, like maybe he was, honestly, this really makes me think about like Amityville Horror,
yeah, it
you
sounds
know?
similar. And so he went into the bathroom and he took pills and mixed them. And I mean, of course, he's a medical doctor, so he knew exactly what to take so he could die before the cops got there.
That's very interesting. So it was planned.
I don't know if it was planned.
It sounds like it was
There was
planned.
there was documentation before, like a few months before this incident, that he was admitted to a hospital and they gave him emergency treatment. And based on the documentation, it kind of looked like he had tried to commit suicide
Before.
before this happened, like a few months before. And then, he was fine, went back, and, then a few months later, he kills his wife, tries to kill his daughter, and then he commits suicide. Um, hi.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
¿Cómo se dice? Hexenrabe
Hexenrabe.
and Cosmic Neighbors. Hey,
Hi.
nice to see you.
We're glad to be back.
So he woke up and did that. It must have been a dream he had, somewhat like a lucid dreaming where he was between reality. Yeah. And maybe he was in communication with an entity. That's a good point.
Possibilities, yeah.
Because there is really no explanation to, I mean, I don't know. They were trying to hint at the fact that maybe he was under the influence, like since he was a doctor, he had access to medication. And there was a neighbor that said that his eyes were dilated, like
Oh, so he would abuse, like,
they think that that's the reason, like he would abuse medications, and that kind of, I don't know, maybe made him do something. I don't know. But they were, and go ahead. I don't want to get
um
ahead of it.
so the children were taken by family. Judy
Well, before the ambulance, and then the children. Okay.
they were taken by family. Judy survived her attack. The house with everything inside remained vacant. It is believed that Harold snapped due to financial hardships they were facing. In a letter wrote, so I guess he wrote in a letter.
No, Judy wrote in a
Oh,
letter
in a letter wrote, yeah,
to her
Judy
aunt.
to her aunt. My parents, so to speak, are in a financial bind. The home was sold in 1960 to Emily and Julian Enriquez, where
So hold on. Okay, so let me add right
Mhm,
there. So Judy, right after she was hit, she ran out to a neighbor's house.
mhm.
The neighbor that she knocked on the door didn't open because he didn't I guess it was a teen that looked out the window and didn't recognize her. They're like, "Well, I don't know who that is. It could be like a crazy person." So she didn't open the door. But then she ran to another neighbor's house and they opened the door, and that's when they called the police. Um, but it seemed like they were having a lot of financial issues. He had signed some contracts for another clinic, I believe, because he already had one. But I think he was trying to either get another clinic. I'm not sure. But he was signed into another contract, and it just didn't work out. They didn't have enough money, to pay for that. He owed money to people. To another doctor. I think he owed a lot of money. Um, and so I don't know. It was just they would spend money. They had like nice cars. And so at this point, I think that kind of also hit a big, it kind of made him out of whack a little bit. Like, it all this stress, and he wanted to find somebody to blame. So they thought that he kind of attacked them because they were at fault for all this money being spent, right? Which was the
Yeah.
wife and the daughter. And so this was one of the reasons why he I guess attacked them, is what they say. So yeah. So after that happened, the house was sold. Hey, Nightmare.
Hi.
Welcome. Nice to see you. And so the house was sold in 1960 to the Enriquez family. This is another, like, I don't know, at which the Enriquez family, they bought the house as a gift for their son, Rudy Enriquez. And but they never, people say, or as far as people know, that they never really lived in the house. They just bought it to have it, in case their son wants to live in it or whatever. So the house, people would say, neighbors would say that they would just kind of use it as a storage house, and they would come in with boxes and store boxes there and leave stuff there. And but Rudy says that he actually they lived in the house, or he said. So I don't know. Who knows? It's crazy. It's crazy. um, but Rudy was a they say that he was a really nice guy. People that knew him, um, they said that he was very kind, very giving. Of course, he had a lot of money because his parents left him a big inheritance. But his parents, I mean, they bought the house. They eventually passed away. I don't know if it says when they passed
Um,
away.
maybe on the following page, you want me to just get into
Um,
it?
yeah, you can. They passed away pretty. Not that, I mean, 1994,
Mm-hmm.
which is his mother passes away. Um, and then Rudy inherited the house, so now it's his house, right? But he never lives in it because he has other homes that that the parents had bought around LA. So I guess he lived in one of those homes. But he didn't want to get rid of this house because he's like, oh, this is a gift from my parents. They worked so hard to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to have it there in case, for whatever. And there was some mention that one of his friends did live there for a while, like maybe I think for like a year, and then he moved out. Um, but I don't know. People were still trying to break into the house, especially after the murder. It
Mm-hmm.
became like it was in the newspaper. People were all into, what was going on. Is there a conspiracy behind this? Is this house cursed? Because this is already like how many people that have died in this
A
house.
lot. It's a lot for a home. It is. You
um
know, so like she mentioned, he inherited the home but didn't move in, didn't live there.
and I kind of want to mention the backstory. There's this it became big that so the story is that there was some guys that were called to do a paint job at one of the houses next door. When they asked the neighbor, hey, what's up with this house,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of told him the story, and these guys went over there and they're like, hey dude, let's go look at it, this is scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the guys went over there and they kind of peeked through the door and or the window, and they saw like a Christmas tree and presents still wrapped under the tree. And they're like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, like the house was frozen in time, like nothing
Yeah.
changed. This is still like all the belongings of the murder victim." And so that kind of became like, oh, everybody wants to go see this, house that was frozen in time, right? Um, but it's funny because the guy that one of the painters said that he kind of made that story up about the tree, like about the presents and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so he would bring people like, hey, come see this house. It's haunted. You can see the Christmas tree. You can see the, um,
Hi, Donnie. Good to see you.
yeah, you can see like the wrapping paper, which it wasn't true about the presents, but people said that they did see a Christmas tree and they also saw wrapping paper, which is true. And the murders happened December 6th. So could that have been the Pearlsons,
Mm,
or the mother getting Christmas ready, right?
mm.
I don't know. Pretty crazy. But people would break in, people would go try to see the house, trying to get in the house. There was a few people that actually got in the house and took things. So that's crazy.
Wow.
But
So, later, Rudy passes away and leaves the home in limbo, right?
he didn't
So,
have no
no
children,
heirs
no
for the
heirs.
home.
Mm-mm.
So, the home is taken by the bank and auctioned off to the highest bidder. In 2015, so I guess the highest bidder, it was sold in 2015 to Lisa Bloom and Braden Pollock for 2.3 million. Their initial plan was to move in and do some slight renovations, but after the city told them that the property was not up to code and had to demolish the home, they were devastated. So, and I think it wasn't up to code because, I mean, no one was living in the home,
For years.
so yeah, for years. So the electricity wasn't up to date,
And I
right?
think they
Plumbing,
said
all that
that they
stuff.
needed to do something with the like the hill. Like that the hill itself wasn't up to code. So they needed to kind of
Oh,
like
like set like a better foundation,
right.
probably.
Yeah.
So, they had already they had already removed everything inside and demolished for remodel. Eventually, they placed the house back on the market to sell. A real estate investor bought the home for 2.3 million in 2020. So, they kind of sold it for what they bought it for, basically,
Hey,
right?
Chaos. Yeah, I know, which was interesting, right?
Hi.
But at this point, Lisa and what's the guy's name?
Um,
And the dude, her
wha-
man, Braden,
Braden.
they kind of started the remodel process. So they removed everything inside the
Mhm.
house. Like it's just gutted. And once they tried to figure out if they could finalize the remodel, which did not even start the remodel yet. But then they told them it's not up to
Mhm.
code. You guys have to do something with that land, flatten it, fix it. And so
So it
they're
was
like,
more of an
it was going to be
investment
more of an
than
investment than what they bought it for. So
yeah.
they decided to sell it. Of course, when they sold it, it still was the same as it is now. Um, but people like,
That's
especially the neighbors.
interesting. Did you read what Sweetly Morbid Bear wrote that
Where?
she's driven by there plenty of times.
Oh,
That's
right here.
interesting. So when you've passed by, did it make you feel any type of way? Was it like you didn't sense any dark vibes?
Yeah, no, that's scary. Yeah, and so I don't know. So eventually,
Like in Mortal Kombat? It's with a B.
Rabin.
Raiden.
I don't
Yeah.
even know,
No, this
but
dude's Braden.
Braden. And so I don't know. They sold the house, and I guess the person that bought it from them was a real estate
Real estate,
investor,
yeah.
and so he had plans,
And in
right?
2020. So it was off the it was like, just there for a while
Yeah,
since
it's just
2015.
nobody has been able to live in this house, like except for that family that was there for 3 decades. But after
That's a
the
really long
murder,
time.
like it's been, I mean, come on, would you want to buy a house? Would any of you guys in chat want to buy a house that has had
Oh,
a terrible murder like that? Right?
there was still more information
Oh,
back
that's
here.
just like bullet
Oh,
points.
just extra stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean,
That
and the
is
crazy thing,
interesting. Look at this. That is
hold on.
interesting.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, these comments are good.
And so the
Oh,
ironic thing is that we ended up buying a house that had a murder in it. And
I
it was a
mean,
horrible murder. So
as you guys know, we've two haunted houses, right?
so if it's gutted on the inside, then the spirits attached to the residents could be disturbed. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, and it made them more
active
active.
or
Yeah.
something. On the whole area makes you feel away. Yeah, that's the creepier
Wow.
end of Los
See, isn't that
Feliz.
interesting to hear that the whole area makes you feel that way?
So, okay,
That's
I kind of
interesting.
like now that you mentioned that,
Yeah.
there was like a rumor that the land was cursed by one of the owners, I believe. Um, I don't know what happened to it was like given to somebody, and then that person's niece inherited it, and then she cursed it. I don't know. There's something about a curse in the Los Feliz area, which they say that it's not too far. Like they're like the in the vicinity was where the Manson murder, one of the Manson murders happened, and then also where it is believed that the Black Dahlia was murdered. So that's all like in the same vicinity, I guess.
That's odd. So it's ironic that it's called Los Feliz because nobody's feliz right there.
I mean, there's a few people that live in those big ass houses and they're feliz.
Hi, Spooky.
Because I believe that there could be demonic activity because of the pain and fear and sadness and hate. Yeah, dude. Like, what's going on? Like, it has that house has like such a sad like
And
history.
yeah.
Psychic intuitive folk usually work or live in an occupied place.
Mm.
What did Donnie say? Did he say
Yeah,
he
he
would buy
said
it?
that depends on
Would
the
I buy a murder
discount.
house? Depends. And they do give discounts because of the history, and people don't want to buy it. And so it's kind of it makes sense
That's
that
the
they
curse
would
of
lower the
Griffith
price.
Park.
Yes,
Interesting.
exactly the curse of Griffith Park. That I don't know. Hey Spooky, how are you? And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of
Well,
sad.
like, I mean, I heard this story on TikTok. They had like a quick rundown of like, oh yeah, these are the people who would live here, and so that's where I learned about this because I didn't know. But they do have a lot of videos where people they do go, just to explore, just to see if they catch anything, and
Mhm.
it is a creepy vibe, even when you're watching it on video, like it just seems like creepy, it's just the vibe is kind of scary, and it's kind of dark. So,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Now that because she's asking about Chris Benio, right? Is it
Mhm.
I actually was watching some of that documentary with my husband, and that was weird too, dude. Like he I don't
Crazy.
know.
Yeah, we're glad to be back, right, Gloria? Yeah, we're glad to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah. So okay. And 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 in recent news,
Mhm.
that real estate investor sold this house
He did? He just
again.
bought it.
No, actually, not sold it. It's up for sale.
Oh, it's up for sale?
It's up for sale now in 2022. If anybody wants to buy it, a hefty $5 million.
Wow, it doubled.
$5 million,
It doubled.
and it's gutted, and you probably have to demolish it. Um, and you know what's weird about this window right here? That it has this window, you can see the stairs. So those are the
Oh, that's
stairs.
what that is?
Yeah.
Look, honestly, the house, its whole aesthetic is kind of like
It
Spanish,
is a
and
Spanish
then
house, yeah.
it still
Spanish
has like,
colonial.
and it has those that like 1920s design, right? That brickwork around
Mhm.
the frame of the windows and also like here
If I got
on the door.
a great price, I would totally get it. My kids have scared of grandparents and cops. I don't think demons stand. Dude, go buy it.
It's too scary. We've had enough of haunted
I don't
houses.
I don't think it's historically protected. I don't think so because they haven't said anything on the sale. I don't think so because I think you have to demolish it anyways, right? If it's historically protected, m- that's making it difficult to sell. I would think most people would want to develop on that because it's a major, yeah, and it's definitely in a great
Yeah.
area.
It
But
is in a great area. It is. It is.
yeah,
It's
this
in
is
Griffith
in
Park
it's
in
in
Los Angeles, next, like close to the Hollywood sign, right?
yeah, it's close
Yeah.
to the Hollywood sign, and it's had its fair share of deaths. Hey,
Ye-
Lakea, nice to see you.
Hi.
I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think that is land value price
Yeah.
$5 million. But you know what? I think that even if they try to give it to me for free, I don't think I would take it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd live there.
I think I don't know.
I
My
mean, it's a nice area, but at the cost of being haunted, I don't know. Yeah.
dude, did you see what Chaos wrote? Since new people moved in, the resident spirit bugs the new neighbors instead of us. Go bug them and leave me alone.
Yeah, so
Because in Los
yeah,
Feliz area, yeah. Um,
yeah, they're big.
dude,
Like
like,
when they show like the backyard of this house, it's pretty decent
okay, you
size.
guys, any in the chat, if they offered you this house for sale, would you take it? Like, not for sale. They offered it for free.
Yeah, would you move there?
I mean, I'm sure Chaos said he would, and Donnie would. Um, I think I would be. It would just be too much for my mental
Man.
health. Like,
Maybe if they had a little guest house in the back,
and
you
Judy,
know?
the daughter, there was. I think she did say that she didn't like living there because it felt like mausoleum to her. So it was kind of
Interesting.
like, I don't know. Spooky said he would.
Wow.
And Nightmare, you guys are
I know. You guys are
crazy.
brave.
You know what? We lived in a murder house. Eileen still does. She lives in a and it was a very tragic murder.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, the other house prior to that, there was a lot of activity, and I'm just like, nah. You're gonna have to pay with your peace. I don't know about that. Like,
like you being an experienced murder house live in person.
nah, I just want to live in peace, man.
But have you felt like the energy at the house?
There, you know what? Where the murder scene happened, it does have an energy to it. It does.
Yeah, it
It does have
definitely
an
does.
energy, but the other house, the energy was everywhere, right?
But you know what? There was I don't know if we had confirmation on the other house if people died there because that house was built in the 1920s, wasn't it?
Yeah, but one of the neighbors had brought that up to our older sister that, someone had passed away there, a
Yeah.
child. So
Cosmic Neighbor says he would buy it, knock it down, and put a giant
yeah,
telescope
right.
there.
And that could be the second Griffith
That
Observatory.
would be cool, dude. Like, I would totally. No, I don't even know if I want to stand there. If like somebody was murdered, the traffic in front is enough of a disturbance.
Yeah.
Break out that spirit box. That's crazy. Like, and
You
even like just looking at pictures, it gives you a weird vibe.
It does,
And if you look at
because
the inside of it, it doesn't even feel cozy. Like, it doesn't feel like
it's
a.
not warm at all. It's very like
I
cold.
wouldn't try. I wouldn't tired of living in haunted houses. No, I don't like. And my mom, like, she kind of like, because I was talking to her about it, and
Hmm.
she's like, you know what? The man still like opens the door every day at night, and she's like, I'm used to it already. And like,
She just makes room.
no, which she's like, I feel like he opens the door and sees us laying there. And so he's like, okay, I can't sleep here because it's occupied. And so he leaves. But she says that he always opens the door at a certain time at night, which I don't know, it could be anything. I mean, they don't have an air conditioner, it doesn't work. So
So it's
there's
not
no
the
air.
AC.
And so I'm thinking that maybe it's just that she thinks she's convinced that it's the man that was murdered. But she says that he's not an aggressive entity. And she's kind of like, whatever at this point. I don't really care. Like, if he wants to chill, he can chill.
He can
But I did tell
chill.
her to take a picture with flash
Uh,
when the
ugh.
door opens at night
Mm-mm,
because she's
mm-mm.
awake all the time. So I'm like, Mom, as soon as that door opens, take a picture with flash and then we'll see the pictures. Because she says she's tried to do video, but she doesn't capture anything. So, Mom is like a low key ghost hunter right
She
now.
is.
But yeah.
She likes investigating.
And we did have the house blessed, and we had a priest come out and pray and do like a little deliverance
Yeah,
because there was a lot more activity and it was more aggressive when we first moved
yeah,
in.
it was. And they, something had lifted my dad from his hammock, and I think that was like the last straw for him, right?
Yeah.
Realizing that there was no one there and someone
Yeah.
just lifted him up.
And then we had like I would take pictures and we would see orbs. We would see like weird
But
stuff.
sometimes like our cats would just randomly pass.
And then we had a dog that would bark at like a certain area all the time. So it was kind of weird. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a picture. And I took a picture and there was like a big orb. It was weird.
Yeah,
So I don't even know if I still have that picture. I have to check.
yeah, ay.
So yeah, you guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah, so just last to mention, there are videos that, on TikTok, and there was this other one where I think it's like a group of people who like do stories and investigate. They had set up at this house. They sat down, I guess like there's like a garage area, and they sat down, and their background was literally like the house, and they were talking about the house while being at the house, and it was scary. I'm like,
That's
that's
scary,
it. That's
dude.
it. And it was like later in the evening, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a creepy vibe. Like, I wouldn't want to be there, talking about the people who passed, and they're like, probably their spirits are in there. So
Yeah,
creepy
and
vibe.
there's a lot of people that say that it is haunted, that they have seen the wife kind of peeking through the windows, and they've heard people say, like neighbors, I don't know if neighbors, but people say that they hear screaming coming from the house. Um, so there's like a lot of hearsay and things like of course it still has a lot of traffic. People go out there and try to look, try to break in, try to like do like paranormal investigation in there.
Yeah.
And so it could be true. I mean, there could definitely be activity going on in this house, especially from it having like what, 4 deaths, two, how
Yeah.
many?
I think it was 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. And so, I mean, you guys, like, scary. Actually, Frankie, we did do a episode on the Winchester, right?
Yeah,
We did.
right? Yeah.
Should be on our channel. You can check that out.
That one's an interesting one too.
Yes. But yeah, you guys, that's all we have. If you guys have any questions, to let us know. And what did you think about this house? I wanted to let you know, there is a podcast that I was listening to that has a lot of detailed information, and they also have documents, they have videos, they have interviews of neighbors and things like that you guys can
Yeah.
check out if you want to further investigate.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
I
very
know,
interesting.
my info was surface level. I just got it from TikTok.
And it's called the Los Feliz Murder Mansion. And you can find it on Spotify. I think they have it on Apple. What is it? The Apple one?
Apple Music. I don't know.
I don't know, but they have it on like different streams, like different platforms where you guys can listen to it. They also have a website. And yeah, I recommend it if you want to see further documentation and evidence. Yeah,
So
that
do
would
you
be the.
think that if they would have made it like into like some type of like museum
I
attraction?
thought about that. I think it would have been a great museum if they would have kept everything in there.
Mhm.
I'm sure people would pay to go in there and try
Yeah.
to like see.
And I think that would help keep up the maintenance of the home.
Yeah, but it's still, I don't think that it would, I mean, maybe if the government took it as a museum, right?
Yeah,
Like
and
they
then
did like the
like yeah,
Winchester.
the
Or
Winchester.
what is the other one? The castle one? Is it
No,
in
not
San Jose? ¿Cómo se llama?
what is that house
The
called?
newspaper guy's house, right?
Oh, the Hearst Castle.
Yeah, like Hearst Castle
Yeah,
too, where it's taken and taken care of by the state or
yeah.
whatever, the city, right? So yeah. This was very fascinated. Didn't know about this house. Very familiar with the area. Thanks for the great show. You're welcome. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
How are you? That was great. I'm gonna check it out. That's a few blocks. I hated walking as a teen. I'd avoid that area.
Wow.
It's still dark there too. Oh, that's crazy. I think that next time we go to LA, we might go up there and check it out, because last time you went to Griffith Park, you didn't really like.
Yeah,
You drove through the neighborhood. We drove through the neighborhood,
yeah.
but we didn't know about it.
Yeah, of course we didn't
If
know
we
about
did, we
it.
would have straight up like gonna go
Yeah.
take a picture. Of course, I wouldn't try to get close to it, but take a picture maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, I just remember seeing those houses and I'm like, wow, this is a nice area to be at.
Yeah,
It's a
it
really
is.
nice
It's
area.
a
Well
nice
taken
area,
care of.
and they have the Griffith Park and the Under Gallery. That's not that far from there.
Yeah, and then I mean Griffith Observatory.
The
You know,
zoo.
and then you got the Greek Theater, right?
Have you guys talked about the Cecil Hotel? Yes, we did a show on the
We did?
Cecil. Yes, we did. We did, Eileen. Remember we showed the video of the girl in the elevator?
Oh, wow.
Lisa Lem? Yeah, we did do a show. Eileen forgets all the shows we do.
Yeah, I
but
forget.
we talked about that. Yeah, that was one of the main. But I saw something about Zach Bagans doing a show on this house. And I think that was in 2022 this year.
Wow. So that's,
So
fresh
I think Ghost
information.
Hunters has an episode or maybe like 2 parts on this house on the um, Los Feliz Murder Mansion. So haven't seen it. I might go see it after this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being
I
here.
appreciate everybody coming by and saying hi and
Yeah.
letting us know what you think.
And we're glad to be back too. We missed
I know
podcasting.
we did miss it.
Yeah.
And so
And
but yeah.
everyone too,
Yeah. Talking to everybody.
Yeah, I know. It's always nice to talk to you guys.
I don't know. Mr. Zach Bagans. He definitely makes shit creepy. I'm sorry for my language, but he does. Like, I feel like he kind of puts that dark tone to things that makes it really creepy. I don't know necessarily how credible it is. I kind of just tend to be the person that says, everything is possible and anything could happen, but I don't know. I mean, there's people that kind of sometimes do things to make it like it's Hollywood, they make it a little bit more scarier than it really
Hollywood. It is Hollywood.
But I did see his documentary on what was it called? Devil's House, I think. Something like that. And it freaked me out. I was scared to watch it by myself. But I was like, I can do this. And
that's the really scary one that you watched?
Demon House. It was called Demon House.
The really scary one that you watched?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to wake up my hubby to go watch it with me, but he was like, nah, don't watch it. That's his thing. If I go and wake him up and tell him, hey, I'm scared, come watch this, he'll just be like, just don't watch it. Turn it off. Well, I'm like, but I want to watch it. I'm already into it. Like, dude. And so I just kind of like gather my, my
your might?
No, ¿cómo se dice? My
courage.
My courage, and I watch it and I get through it. And it happened twice. It happened with that one, and then it happened with another one about I forgot what it's called. I forgot. High desert, something high desert, horror in the high desert. So I was scared for that one too, and I kind of just built the courage, and I'm like, let's do this. I can do this. And I prayed, and I like I just get scared,
man.
But
if I don't have to, I ain't.
Yeah.
I
mean, but what do you guys think? I mean, Zach Bagans does have that museum in Las Vegas where people go, and He has a lot of haunted objects. He has, like things here and there. I don't know if you guys have gone.
Is his the one that
Yes.
museum that's out there?
Yes. That we've had friends go to.
Yeah, the Vegas one.
Yes. And so people say that they've gone to his museum and they've had weird things happen, where they've been touched. Well, the person that told us that went, they
Wow.
said they felt somebody like poke them on their shoulder. And they also felt bad energy. It's definitely tense in there. Like you can feel like
The
there's
tension.
negative things. Yeah. And so I wouldn't go. I got invited, but I was like, no, I am not going. There's no way. Thank you, Nightmare. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys today. And
That's it for today.
hopefully, I know that Spooky Morales and the Paranormal Chop Shop, they're going to be going live soon. So you guys can head over there and say hi. But yeah, we appreciate everybody and
thank you everyone for being
have a
here.
great weekend. Enjoy yourselves and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye everyone.